Welcome back to the Eric Krown Crypto channel. Wishing you a happy healthy start to this nice dumpola party on Friday. Everyone drink your caffeine, drop the kids off at the pool, and get ready to dump, baby, because Bitcoin is moving, fulfilling a lot of the signals that we have been looking at for the past couple weeks here, now coming to fruition. And I wanted to, in a more sincere tone, as I recollect my somewhat left sanity, talk about what's to be expected for the next, let's say, 7 to 14 days. So without further ado, let's just jump into it right here, starting off with the one bad big signal to rule them all, the one signal to find them, and that is, of course, the daily volatility versus stochastic momentum signal. Of course, we are looking at volatility represented by this metric right here, and anytime that we do see it get down to extreme lows, as we have observed many times, even in the past couple of years, as you can see, this would essentially account for extreme lows, these levels down here. Essentially, the expansion phase from those extreme lows has led to an average move of just under 24%, about 23.76 to be exact, over the course of just over 8.5 days, a little bit more variance than that, I should say. And then the stochastic momentum oscillator has gone the correct direction on that volatility expansion just under 90% of the time. So pretty damn good, not perfect, obviously. We're talking about statistics, not certainties, but it has worked yet again, I would say. In this case, we do see volatility expansion is officially happening, with the first tick up on the actual volatility indicator right here. So that is the volatility of stochastic momentum. You can see that it does have a positive slope, and ever so slightly positive slope, but yes, it does matter. And that is how all of the past signals have actually been born. As you can see right here, for example, in that first tick up in June, that was governing our downside bias coming in from about 30,000 bucks to the current lows of, well, 19,000 bucks on CME specifically, that is. Anyways, in this case, we obviously did get confirmation on this in the last few days, with momentum headed to the downside, which has been driving a downside bias. And well, now we're starting to see that come to fruition. So with all of that in mind, now we need to move on into the other fun stuff, of which I wanted to reference a few things over here on the higher term timeframes, because there are, well, there is a lot of implications with what we're looking at right now. So let's go over here actually, and we're going to go first to the 2-day time frame. We did say that, hey, there is potential for hidden bearish divergence coming into the yesterday night's closure, with any sort of a closure below 23,600. That condition was very obviously met, and we do have hidden bearish divergence between this point. Whoops, if I can actually click properly here. This point with the highs in May and early June at 30,000 bucks, and this high right here, a significantly lower high at about $25,000. That is not it though. When we look at the 2-day time frame, we also observe incredibly low volatility. So BBWP, which is a different metric actually than what we just looked at for the volatility of stochastic momentum, completely different calculations, is also on the ever-loving lows right there. So when it is on the lows like this, expansion is imminent. It is programmed into the narrative, and of course that would imply that this move, does have more to go, if you will. Now, if we go back on over here and we actually take that measurement of about an average of 23.76% from the last high, that would forecast somewhere reasonably close to our current lows, anywhere between about $19,000 to $20,000. Of course, again, remember that there is variance within this measurement. So, it could be a little bit on the lower end, a little bit on the higher end. For example, the last one that we did see was 11.67% over the course of 5 days. The one before that was 38.37 over the course of 11 days. So, there is going to be some differences in these reads, obviously. So it can give us a bit of a range, obviously, that does coincide, around the 786 Fibonacci retracement. And so I do like the confluence right there. But here's the thing, it doesn't just really stop there with the 2-day time frame. The 5-day time frame is also hinting at hidden bearish divergence. And I would argue that this is already confirmed, as we do see a nice caretaker's RSI showing some potential hidden bearish divergence between this point, same one at 30,000 bucks, and this point. And being that it is a 5-day, that is going to be even more powerful than a 2-day and a daily, obviously. Combined, no, it doesn't necessarily work like that, but just more and more confluential signals here that do suggest the same thing. And also the 5-day BBWP, I would say, is it's not like extreme lows like we saw back on over here in July 2020, but these are low levels that we have observed over the past year and a half now. So I do like that region overall as begetting, a base for a major move, if you will. Now, I'll probably present the statistics on that particular one for tomorrow's video, but for right now, you can start to see that a lot of things are really coming into play here. So with all of that said, we need to now go into the lower term timeframes, and we're going to go look at lower term timeframes stochastic momentum, of which we can see over here on the 6 hour that it is critically low, similar to what we did see on the lows of July 27th and also in July 13th. So that was respectively this low right here, or I guess I already have them marked off. It was actually this low right here and this low right here. These last three ones were actually relevant for the 4 hour, which we're probably not going to bother talking about today because why? Anyways, in this case, this one will actually turn up above 21,700. So, has Bitcoin kind of found potentially a little bit of a low right now? Perhaps yes, definitely possible. As far as the short-term timeframes go, I don't think that Bitcoin's going to necessarily continue to massively new lows today. We've already kind of seen a nice little rope being thrown down by those bears, throwing some knives, of which Mr. Spliv probably catching over there. But you know what? He's a fucking professional. Gotta love that. I fucking love that guy. Anyways, moving on to the 4 hour, we also observe incredibly low levels on 4 hour stochastic momentum, showing the pivoted region at 22,050 or 60 or so. If you go to the 3 hour, same sort of thing here. Obviously, 21,600 going to be the magical number. 2 hour is going to be showing 22,300, and then the hourly is going to be showing about 21,500. So we see them all kind of pivoted around those regions. That would kind of suggest to me that Bitcoin's more or less likely to do something like this intraday here. Trade a bit sideways, maybe try a little bit of an upside move, maybe try a little bit of a downside move. But I don't think that we're going to be breaking, the short-term time frame range for what it's worth right now. If we go over here and check out ranges as far as the medium and short-term time frames go, let me just actually get rid of everything and put on the little drawing tools. You can see that Bitcoin basically hit the 618 Fibonacci retracement right here, also kind of in line with that last major low that we did see on the 27th of July. So, likely a bouncy region for the short-term timeframes, of which, obviously we're already getting. I mean, Bitcoin on spot price action is already like $500 up from that number. I think it even traded almost $600 up from that number. So, I do think that we're going to be looking at a little bit of sideways intraday here, and then continuation probably coming into next week as those other higher term timeframe signals start to take over and play out. Other than that, we're seeing volatility expand on the 4 hour. Obviously, that's going to lead into the 6 hour, which is also expanding. The 12 hour is also expanding. So you can see that, all the dominoes are kind of falling right now into the daily, into the 2-day, into the 5-day, of course. So all timeframes are essentially in concert right now. And I do look at this as, likely to trade lower into the next couple weeks here. The only thing that would essentially invalidate that for myself would be if Bitcoin were to close back above like 23,500, basically yesterday's breakdown number. So I just wanted to take a second here as we kind of get to the end of this particular analysis to address, this whole setup, this major one that I've been focusing a lot on over here and continue to focus a lot on over here. And I just wanted to, for the people who have been on this channel for a while now, you've seen that these take a bit of patience, but yes, they do play out. And we've seen this many times. This was driving up major downside biases since basically $45,000 rejection over here. That's where I started to get extremely bearish. And you can see how they kind of, continue to rhyme over time. So it takes a bit of patience, but slowly and typically surely they do play out. And I believe that's kind of what we're seeing right now. So other than that, I wanted to once again quickly shill my Instagram. I've been uploading there quite frequently, both trading related content and also, some like intraday analyses that are, just like super short, super small. Which you may or may not give a fuck about, which is, of course, in the link in the description below. Also, we got Bybit offering 50% off of their options trading fees if you use the link in the description below. And then also Funded Futures Trading, which is actually one of the owners is a part of this community, is offering, or they're offering, they have a service basically now where they will fund traders if you can prove that you are profitable. There is, again, a link in the description below, of which, well, you will have to go through their evaluation. Anyways, I think that's going to do it for right now. I want to say much love, take care, and see you hopefully soon.